Peace, everybody. This is Kashin with 45 Fitness and Strength. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a subscriber or if you've been here before, thank you very much for coming back. What you're watching are clips from one of my recent training sessions following the Doggcrapp or DC training protocol. This is one of the upper body sessions where I'll be doing lifts for chest, shoulders, triceps, and 2 back exercises, one for width and one for thickness. And so over the course of this video, you'll see flat bench press, which I'm obviously starting off with, and you'll see me go into some other things as the workout progresses. But as far as topic for this video, as you saw in the still shot on the intro, wanted to talk about how often you should train as you get older, specifically over the age of 40. A lot of what I hope to cover on this channel is to deal with some of the, myths or misunderstandings that we may take on about aging and how that pertains to physical fitness and just being able to function compared to how we did when we were younger. And some of the stuff that you may see would have you believe that as soon as you hit your 40th birthday, that all of a sudden everything just starts falling apart. And, by the time you're 41, you're just about ready to go in the grave if you don't get some kind of hormonal or other intervention to stop your testosterone levels from dropping and all this other stuff. You may think or be led to believe that turning 40 automatically requires us to make some great change in how we approach things like building muscle, getting stronger, getting leaner, just generally being more fit. As a general rule, very little needs to change. So to answer the question about how often we should lift, I'm going to approach it from 2 points of view. One from a purely physical point of view, and then the other from what I would call a lifestyle point of view. From the physical point of view, what happens when we lift weights, do resistance training? What we're doing is putting a stress on our body, and this is part of the first part in the stress recovery adaptation cycle or process, I guess. It's only a cycle if you repeat it. But when we're lifting, we're putting a stress on our body. After that, we need to recover from it. And then that recovery will then allow our bodies to create an adaptation to said stress, which in the adaptation we're looking for with strength training is generally an increase in muscular size, muscular strength, and also neurological efficiency in terms of performing the lifts that we're doing. So, in terms of how often should we be training, really we should train as often as we can go through that cycle or that process of stress, recovery, and then adaptation. So how long does that take? Well, it kind of depends, but it depends on your training experience. So let's break that down a little bit. Let's say you are a beginner, you're a novice, you're new to weight training, and you just happen to be 40, 45 years old, 48 years old or something like that. You can go through that process of stress recovery and adaptation, generally speaking, just about as well as someone who's 28 or 38 or even 19. And that's about a 48-hour turnaround with appropriate training. Not going in the gym and just doing something haphazardly, but a solid, structured program, something like starting strength or strong lifts that has you doing compound movements, covering your whole body in each workout about 3 times a week, and adding weight to the bar each time you go in there, provided that you have appropriate training and you take the adequate measures that you need to recover. That's pretty much dealing with eating enough and sleeping enough and trying not to stress yourself out. More on that in a moment. But if you can do those things, you can get in there 3 times a week and make progress for a while. As you get more advanced, you may need to fine tune things and try different workout splits or something like that. But the basic point I'm trying to make here is that you don't have to adjust the frequency of your training based just on your age. Now, what I've found as I've gotten older, I'm 43 years old now, is that the older we get, the more we tend to have going on in our lives outside the gym. At this point in life, many of us are married, or maybe we've been married and divorced. We have children. We have at least one job. Some of us have 2 jobs. Some of us are working a job and going back to school. There's all kinds of things that are going on that create more stress. And the stress, one, can keep us out of the gym just because we're not focused. And also, 2, it can affect how well we recover and then adapt from whatever workouts we are getting in. So that's what I was referring to earlier in the video when I said lifestyle having a great effect on our training frequency. We may find that we want to go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, but because we're working 10 to 12 hour days, or because we have to take children to practice or pick them up from a practice, or something else, anything along those lines or outside those lines. I mean, with the conversations I have with most of the folks that I know, friends of mine that I know personally, my age, almost all of us are sleep deprived. And I'm not just talking about people who go to the gym. I mean, everybody. And I'm sure there are people who are much younger than us who are not getting adequate sleep also. But if you're anything like me, one thing I've learned is that when I was 20-something, I could go without sleep for many days at a time and perform just fine. Mentally, I was sharp. Physically, I was strong. Everything worked great. Now, not so much. If I don't get any sleep, I'm going to feel that now. And I don't think that's an isolated case. So in summary, I would say that provided that you can maintain a pretty consistent schedule, and I don't mean a schedule of getting to the gym, but also a schedule where you sleep well and enough, and also eat well and enough, that for the most part, if you like, you can train pretty much 3 times a week or even every other day. And keep in mind, when I'm talking about training, I'm referring specifically to lifting, strength training, lifting weights, resistance training, those activities that are going to build muscle and get you stronger. That's what I'm referring to. If you can eat enough, sleep enough, and manage the stress in your life pretty well, that kind of training frequency should pay off just great for you. If you're not able to eat well enough, sleep enough, or manage the stress in your life, that doesn't mean you can't make progress. I think when that's the situation that you're dealing with, planning to train twice a week and then putting everything you have into those training sessions will still yield progress. It may not be the same rate of progress that you would have, with a little bit more frequency, like 3 times a week, but it's still progress, and slow progress beats no progress. I'm sure you'll agree. So if you've made it to this point, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. If you found something that I covered in this video to be of some benefit to you, please leave a comment and let me know what it was. If you think it sucked, you can hit the thumbs down and leave me a comment. Let me know what you didn't like. We'll try to make it better next time. But if you did enjoy it, please click that subscribe button and also the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.